welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve a brown glittery smoky eye look. So keep watching if you want to find out how to do that. We're going to start off by clipping the hair out of the way. I've got all of my products in front of me and all of my brushes out ready. Thought I'd be prepared today. So we're going to be using the Beauty Bay Bright 2.0 eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like, and we're going to be focusing on these 3 shades here. No, that's 4 shades. These 4 shades here. So we're going to start with the lightest shade and build up from there. This is the shade Hawk, and I'm just taking it on this small fluffy brush and I'm just patting it onto my eyelid, but not bringing it up too high. And we're just going to pat that on and worry about blending after. We want to keep it quite rounded as well. So now that we've got this going on, we're going to go in with this shade Cocoa and do exactly the same thing. You always want to make sure as well that you tap off any excess from the eyeshadow. That way you don't get too much fallout and you can ensure that you don't get too much product build-up in one area. So we're just patting that on over the top of the shade Hawk, and again on the other side, staying within that line that you've made with that first shade. And again, we can worry about blending later. And then with the shade Storm, I'm gonna pop that on that same brush, but we're just gonna focus that on this outer corner. And we don't want to bring that up too much higher than where we've put that other shades. Just gently patting that in. I'm actually going to the cinema tonight, so hopefully this makeup look isn't too glam for the cinema. Okay, and then we're going to want to go in with a clean, or fairly clean in my case, fluffy, bigger fluffy brush. And we're just going to blend out those edges, bringing it up slightly, but not too much. You want to do circular motions whilst also kind of going back and forth, if that makes sense. Bringing this out slightly and then back the other way. Then you should have something that looks a little bit like this. So as you can see, obviously that's a lot more blended and diffused out than this side. So that's kind of what we want to achieve. So let's go in with the other side. Always start off blending out the lighter shade first, and then you can work your way towards the darker shade. I always find this eye harder to do, and it never blends out quite the same. It's very frustrating. It's just so awkward on the other side. I'm slowly getting used to filming with people in the house, but if I'm talking a little bit quieter today, then that will be why. But I've always been like really embarrassed and scared to film when there's other people about, but I'm getting there slowly. Okay, so I'm actually going to go into this shade here. This one's called Sneakers. I'm going to use like a flatter brush, and I'm just going to pop that in my corner just to brighten that up a little bit and kind of blend it into that shade there slightly. Do you see how that just opens the eye up a little bit more, brightens it up? You can also use your powder, like face powder, if you don't have a white eyeshadow. I quite often do that because I forget I have that white shade in there, or I don't always have that palette with me. So yeah, just like, I don't know, this one for example, it's a loose powder, so it's good for brightening up that inner corner if you need to. So yeah, we could leave it here. It does look very nice, a nice smoky eye, but we're gonna throw a bit of glitter on there. We're gonna go in with the shade Nectar. I'm hoping this doesn't sort of go a bit too much, but we'll see. I'm just using this flat brush and I'm gonna focus it. I'm gonna focus it on this area here. I don't want to bring it up too high. So I'm just gonna pop that on, mainly on like the lid area. Just gently patting it on That way you can be a little bit more precise with where you want it. I've been known to rush it and then end up putting it in places that I really did not want it to go. So the slower and the gentler that you do it, then the better. So then you should have something like this. And we're just gonna go back in with this small brush and just gently, no we're not. That had black on it still, so we're not going to do that. We're going to go with the bigger brush that didn't have any product on it and just blend out those edges. Make sure there's no harshness anywhere. We want it to be nice and fluffy and blended out. Fluffy? How can eyeshadow be fluffy? Can eyeshadow be fluffy? I don't know. Okay, and then on to the other side. Again, remembering to be really gentle. Just packing that on. The good thing about doing it like this is you can always build the product up if you need to, but it's much harder to remove product if you've accidentally overdone it. I had green eyeshadow on my finger and now I've got it on my face. Okay, let's try and fix this. No. Why does it look like I've tried to draw on a moustache? Right, I think I've done it as best I can. We're then going to use an eyeliner pencil. I'm using a black one, but you could use a brown one if you wanted it a little bit more subtle. We're just going to run that along our waterline. So you don't want to be too rough with your under eyes, but you just want to gently pull it down and run the eyeliner along your waterline. This one is from Collection, by the way. And then with this little small brush, I'm gonna go in with the shade Cocoa that we used. I'm just gonna get a little bit of that on the brush and I'm gonna run that along my lower lash line, but focusing it more on the outer corner of that. Bringing it in slightly, but mainly on the outer corner. Again, I always find it so difficult to do this side with this hand. It never quite looks the same. We're gonna mix the white shade with the brown shade just to put that in the corner, just so it's not as dark. So we're still getting a little bit of that smokiness and then blending that back out into the rest of it. I definitely should have done my eyes first because I feel like I've got some glitter fallout, so that's a little tip for you if you're going to be doing this kind of makeup look and especially using glitter. Do your eyes first and then do your base afterwards. And then we're going to pop some mascara on. I'm using the Rimmel Extra Super Lash mascara, but you can obviously use whatever your favourite mascara is. And we're going to focus that mainly on our upper lashes and then a little bit on the lower lashes as well. This is the reality of how I actually like to sit when I'm doing my mascara. I'm like a gremlin. And there we go, that is the finished look. What do we think? I'd love to know if any of you recreate this look, so please let me know down in the comments below, or if you have any suggestions for any other videos. And if you liked this video, then please give it a like and subscribe for more videos in the future. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!